Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today as we explore the evolving story of the United Arab Emirates, UAE, a nation rapidly redefining its role on the global stage through technology, investment, and strategic partnerships. The UAE, once known primarily for oil and tourism, is now positioning itself as a major artificial intelligence hub, leveraging its strategic location, financial resources, and global connections to rewrite its economic playbook. A pivotal development in this transformation, a landmark deal in which Microsoft pledged more than $15 billion of investment into the UAE through 2029, largely focused on AI data centers, cloud infrastructure, and advanced computing. Reuters. In conjunction with this, Microsoft secured U.S. export licenses for some of the world's most advanced chips from Nvidia, including A100, H100, H200 and GB300 models, to be used in the UAE's AI infrastructure build-out. Reuters. Even more striking, Microsoft announced it will ship over 60,000 of Nvidia's advanced AI chips to the UAE under UAE-approved deals, signaling a new level of access to cutting-edge computing in the region. AP News. What do these moves signal? First, they indicate that the UAE is no longer a passive participant in global technology trends. It is actively investing, aligning, and becoming a node in the global AI infrastructure network. Second, they show how geopolitical, economic, and technological threads are converging. The U.S. granting export licenses to the UAE for advanced chips is not just business. It's diplomacy, strategy, and positioning. Third, for investors and viewers alike, this story offers a compelling narrative. A nation with vast ambition, deep capital, global partnerships, and technological momentum. But with it come risks, challenges, and execution questions. Let's dive deeper into what this means for the UAE. The country has declared its ambition to become a regional and perhaps global AI and technology hub, a shift from resource extraction to knowledge, data, and future industries. The Microsoft UAE deal gives that ambition substance. Billions in investment, major cloud and data center infrastructure, access to the best chips, local talent development, and partnerships with global firms. From the UAE's perspective, securing export licenses for the chips is a crucial enabler. It means the country can deploy the hardware that powers large-scale AI models, data analytics platforms, cloud services, and next-generation applications. From the tech company perspective, the UAE offers favorable conditions. You have capital, you have ambition, you have regional reach. Companies like Microsoft are treating the UAE as a strategic base for Middle East and beyond. For your audience, this is the kind of story that combines business, finance, geopolitics, and tech. It invites questions. What does the UAE gain? What do foreign investors gain? What are the risks? How sustainable is the model? Let's consider the opportunities. 1. Technology infrastructure build-out. The chip shipments and data centers mean the UAE is not just consuming technology but becoming a platform provider. 2. Talent and regional leadership. With investment comes training, jobs, innovation hubs, research labs, and the UAE can attract global talent, build local ecosystems, and elevate its economic sophistication. 3. Diversification of economy. For the UAE, moving beyond oil and gas into AI, cloud, data, finance, and knowledge industries aligns with long-term survival and growth in an era of energy transition. But there are risks and cautionary factors. First, execution risk. Building data centers, deploying AI chips, training talent, all ambitious tasks. Timelines, cost overruns, regulatory issues may emerge. Second, geopolitical and regulatory risk. The UAE's partnerships with U.S. companies and access to U.S. export licenses come with oversight, compliance burdens, and strategic risk if global politics shift. Third, competitive risk. The UAE is not alone. Other nations are investing heavily in AI infrastructure, talent, and regulation. The question, can the UAE keep pace and differentiate? Fourth, economic and financial risk. Billions of investment and infrastructure need demand, utilization, and returns. If the projects underperform, the financial burden shifts. From your video angle, you can tell the story as why the UAE is betting big on AI and what it means for global tech, investment, and geopolitics. That sets the stage for viewer engagement. You could also ask, is the UAE the next Silicon Valley of the Middle East? What are the obstacles? Encouraging viewers to think critically rather than cheer blindly builds credibility. Let's unpack some specifics. Microsoft's announcement states that the bulk of its $15 billion investment in the UAE is for AI data centers and cloud infrastructure. Hixio.com. Part of the investment references the export licenses for chips, which allow Microsoft, and by extension the UAE, to access hardware that has previously been restricted, especially in strategic regions. Financial Times. The shipment of over 60,000 chips underscores scale. For the UAE, that means data center power at a magnitude few nations have, aligning with its ambition to host large AI workloads and regional cloud services. AP News. But again, just hardware does not equal success. Infrastructure must be supported by power, cooling, talent, regulation, governance, and sustainable business models. That is the challenge ahead. For banks, investors, and business viewers, keep your eyes on how the UAE monetizes these assets through cloud services, AI applications, regional data center clients, and broader technological ecosystems. Also, watch how regulation evolves. As the UAE expands its tech footprint, it must negotiate data privacy, intellectual property, cybersecurity, export controls, and global standards. The story also has strategic implications for the U.S. and allies. The export licenses reflect a shift in U.S. export control policy, from blanket restrictions to selective partnership frameworks with trusted countries. For the UAE, gaining that access means leverage. It positions itself with both U.S. technology and international ambition, enabling the country to attract global tech firms, capital, and talent. Now consider time frame. This isn't a quick win. The investments will play out over years. The data centers will come online, AI applications will scale, and impact will accumulate gradually. For your audience, patience and perspective matter. Infrastructure stories take time, cycles matter, and hype must be tempered by execution. From a financial perspective, if you're an investor in companies tied to the UAE's build-out, cloud providers, chip makers, regional infrastructure firms, this story is relevant. But treat it like emerging market infrastructure risk, not stable income. Another viewer takeaway: the UAE's ambition is a template for how resource-rich nations can pivot toward knowledge and tech economies. That broadens the relevance beyond just the Middle East. But again, remind viewers, success isn't guaranteed. Ambition must meet execution, governance must adapt, talent must materialize, and global competition must be navigated. As we look ahead, the key signals to monitor include announcements of cloud service rollouts in the UAE, data center capacity utilization, AI model deployments in the Middle East, talent migration, regulatory frameworks, and regional investment flows. Also, watch how U.S. export control frameworks evolve. Do other nations receive similar access? Does this spark competition? How does technology diplomacy shape next decade? In summary, the UAE is making a bold move. Investment commitments of over $15 billion, access to the most advanced chips, global partnerships, these are serious signs of intent. But ambition always comes with risk. Execution, competition, geopolitical headwinds, infrastructure costs, and timing all matter. For viewers and investors, see the UAE story not as a speculative gamble, but as a long-term structural theme. The move into AI infrastructure is real, but the path will be uneven. Your role as a finance commentator: help your audience separate hype from substance, track the milestones, watch the numbers, and maintain perspective on risks. Thank you for listening. I look forward to following with you how the UAE's transformation unfolds, how its AI ambitions translate into business reality, and how global tech landscapes evolve as a result. Stay tuned, stay informed, and let's navigate this story together.